Thank you for joining us on Aso Briefing today. I am Joy Annie. Our top stories. President Bola Tinubu wants bandit terror sponsors to surrender a faithful force of the law. House of Representatives passes state bill, police bill. And Business Auditor General places public sector auditing for nation building. You're watching Aso Briefing. We are live on DSTV channel 392, also on Star Times TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. Now let's take you to all our stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has issued a strong warning to bandits, kidnappers and sponsors of terrorism, declaring that those who continue to threaten Nigeria's peace and security will face the full weight of the law. In his nationwide Democracy Day broadcast, the president said the opportunity for criminal elements to surrender and embrace peace would not remain open indefinitely, stressing that his administration remains committed to restoring security across the country, while reaffirming his resolve to tackle insecurity, caution Nigerians against politicizing criminal activities or associating crime with any ethnic group. He urged citizens to reject divisive narrative that could deepen national tensions.
And the enduring Nigerian spirit. For 27 unbroken years, since May 29, 1999, Nigerians have chosen their leaders through the ballot, witnessed peaceful transition of power, and resolved disagreement in courtrooms and legislative chambers, not through violence. We have experienced the longest stretch of civilian rule in our history. Our democracy is not perfect, but it is ours, and we must continue to defend and strengthen it. In the coming days, Ekiti and Osun states will hold elections. I urge INEC, security agencies, and all parties to ensure these polls are peaceful and credible. Democracy fails when citizens doubt the process. Democracy and the enduring Nigerian spirit. For 27 unbroken years, since May 29, 1999, Nigerians have chosen their leaders through the ballot, witnessed peaceful transition of power, and resolved disagreement in courtrooms and legislative chambers.
The President called for unity in the fight against terrorism, banditry and other forms of violent crimes, describing insecurity as a common enemy that requires collective action. He expressed confidence that Nigeria would overcome its security challenges and emerge stronger. President Tinubu also urged Nigerians to reject pessimism and embrace a shared vision of national progress. He described the current period as a defining moment in the country's history and called on citizens to contribute positively towards building a more secure, united and prosperous nation. Still, President Bola Tinubu has announced the revitalization and renaming of the Institute of Petroleum Studies in Kaduna after the late General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua. General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua was one of the architects of modern democratic Nigeria whose vision helped shape the country's democratic evolution. The president made the announcement during his Democracy Day address to the nation. He said the decision was part of effort to honor individuals who contributed significantly to Nigeria's democratic development. President Tinubu also approved national honors for several pro-democracy activists and military officers who played key roles in the June 12 struggle jail. According to him, many of those recognized endured persecution, exile, imprisonment and other hardships while advocating democratic governance. The president further acknowledged military officers he described as soldier Democrats for their support of the June 12 movement. He noted that a complete list of recipients will be released in the coming days. Reflecting on Nigeria's democratic journey, President Tinubu said the country's diversity, once regarded as a challenge, has become one of the pillars sustaining democracy and national unity. Away to the Red Chamber now, the House of Representatives has passed the bill seeking to establish state police as part of effort to strengthen Nigeria's security architecture and address growing security challenges across the country. The resolution followed a vote during plenary presided over by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas. According to the Speaker, 288 lawmakers voted in support of the bill, while 4 voted against it. The vote was conducted by a show of hands after the electronic voting system was declared non-functional. The proposed legislation seeks to create an additional layer of policing with clearly defined operational frameworks, constitutional safeguards, oversight mechanism and a delineation of powers between federal and state policing authorities. The House had earlier released the final draft of the Constitution Alteration Bill containing provisions for the establishment of state police. In a statement, House spokesman Akintude Rotimi said the proposals were the outcome of months of consultations and legislative review involving government institutions, civil society groups, traditional rulers, professional bodies and citizens through public hearing and stakeholder engagement across the 6 geopolitical zones. Meanwhile, the Senate has also advanced the State Police Bill through second reading and referred to it to the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review. Senate President Godswill Akpabio said lawmakers would vote on the proposal at a later sitting. The renewed push for state policing comes amid rising insecurity across parts of the country, although some experts have raised concern over the potential misuse of state-controlled police structure. And now, the FCT Area Council Election Petition Tribunal has affirmed the election of Comrade Kashimu Muhammad Ikwa of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) as the duly elected chairman of Gwagwalada Area Council. Delivering the judgment, chairman of the tribunal, Justice Bolaji Abdul Hakim, dismissed the petition filed against the election, ruling that the case lacked credible evidence and failed to establish the allegations brought before the court. In a unanimous judgment, the tribunal held that Comrade Kashimu Muhammad Ikwa satisfied all the legal requirements for the election and was vividly returned as the winner, having secured the highest number of lawful votes cast. Justice Abdul Hakim stated that the petitioner, Alhaji Usman Yahya of the All Progressives Congress (APC), alongside his party, failed to prove allegations of overvoting and other electoral irregularities. He noted that the petitioners did not provide sufficient evidence to support their claims. The tribunal subsequently dismissed the petition for lack of merit and affirmed Comrade Kashimu Muhammad Ikwa as the duly elected chairman of Gwagwalada Area Council. It will be recalled that the returning officer for the February 21 Gwagwalada chairmanship election, Dr. Philip Agbemi, had announced the election results after collation at the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) office. According to the results, Comrade Kashimu polled 22,165 votes to emerge victorious over other candidates in the contest. Reacting to the judgment, Comrade Kashimu Muhammad Ikwa described the tribunal's decision as a victory for democracy and the people of Gwagwalada. He expressed gratitude to the judiciary for upholding justice and pledged to focus on providing purposeful leadership and delivering meaningful development projects that would improve the lives of residents across the area councils. Kashimo assured the people of Gwagwalada that his administration would remain committed to transparency, inclusiveness and accelerated grassroots development. And still on Gwagwalada now, in a related development, the All Progressives Congress APC chairmanship candidate in the last FCT Area Council election in Gwagwalada, Alhaji Usman Yahya, has expressed sincere appreciation to his supporters, party faithfuls and well-wishers who have remained steadfast in the struggle to reclaim what he described as the people's mandate. Reacting to the judgment of the FCT Area Council Election Petition Tribunal, Alhaji Yahya urged all his supporters to remain calm, peaceful and law-abiding, noting that they have consistently demonstrated maturity and respect for the rule of law throughout the electoral process. He stated that the party's legal team, the APC leadership, and all the relevant stakeholders would carefully study the tribunal's judgment and determine the appropriate next course of action in accordance with the law. The APC candidate also called on all political stakeholders, particularly members and supporters of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to respect the fundamental rights of all residents of Gwagwalada and refrain from any form of intimidation, violence or actions capable of causing a breakdown of law and order. Alhaji Yahya reassured the people of Gwagwalada of his continued commitment to justice, peace and democratic principles, while urging residents to remain united and maintain peace as the legal process continues. Now to security matters. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Dishu, has approved the deployment of Deputy Inspectors General of Police to the respective geopolitical zones with effect from Monday, 15 June 2026. The deployment is aimed at strengthening operational effectiveness and enhancing supervision as efforts intensify to secure the release of students and teachers recently abducted in Oyo State. IGP Dishu announced that deployment during a meeting with senior police officers at the Goodluck Jonathan Peacekeeping Hall, Force Headquarters in Abuja.
The Deputy Inspector Generals of Police are expected to work closely with the Assistant Inspector General of Police and Commissioners of Police in ensuring that operational directives are effectively implemented and measurable results achieved. Let me make it clear that this deployment is not ceremonial. It is intended to bring leadership closer to the field, improve response mechanism, and ensure that emerging security threats receive prompt and coordinated attention. In addition, I hereby direct all Commissioners of Police to immediately establish what I term the handshake patrol. Commissioners of Police in contiguous states. Criminals do not respect state boundaries. Too often, offenders exploit jurisdictional gaps by committing crimes in one state and escaping to another.
Now, while disclosing that progress had already been made in ongoing rescue efforts of the students and teachers, the police boss also ordered a nationwide enforcement operation targeting vehicles operating without registration plates, as well as those with concealed, altered or defaced number plates, warning that such vehicles are frequently used by kidnappers, terrorists and other criminal groups to evade detection.
This practice is unlawful, irresponsible, and unacceptable. I wish to state that from today, the Nigerian police force will no longer tolerate such acts of impunity. Every vehicle operating on our roads must be properly registered and must display its approved registration number in accordance with the law. Any vehicle found without number plates or with deliberate, obscured, concealed, or tampered registration number will be stopped, impounded, and subjected to the appropriate legal process. Vehicles registration is not merely an administrative requirement. It is a critical component of crime prevention, intelligence gathering, and national security.
The renewed directives comes amid sustained effort by security agents to combat kidnapping, banditry and other violent crimes across the country. Then when Aso Briefing returns, more stories, do stay with us.
Some things don't arrive, they've always been. Not for a day, for all of time. Until quietly something shifts. Moving from someday to now. Women are not honored in time. They are woven through it, shaping every story, every voice, every breath. We are because she is, and because tomorrow they will be. Some things don't.
You're watching the Aso Briefing. We are live on DSTV channel 392, also on StarTimes TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. Now to take you to the rest of the other stories. The Public Account Committee PAC of the ECOWAS Parliament says it will begin public hearing on audit reports from the community's Auditor General as part of effort to strengthen financial oversight within the regional legislature. The announcement was made by Senator Osita Izunaso, the committee's first rapporteur, following a 3-day capacity building workshop for committee members held in Accra, Ghana. He commended members for their full participation, noting that the session was held outside the Parliament headquarters to deepen engagement. Izunaso explained that the timing of the public hearing will depend on the submission of audit reports from the Auditor General, adding that the committee has resolved to hold regular meetings to ensure effective oversight and timely review of financial infractions. During the workshop, members examined the structure and powers of other regional parliaments, including the East African Legislative Assembly, the Pan-African Parliament and the ECOWAS Parliament. It is also noted that compared to these institutions, only the European Parliament enjoys full autonomy, while ECOWAS remains limited in enforcement powers. He said the committee is seeking ways to strengthen its oversight role, stressing that audit processes must be properly concluded before public hearing can take place. The outcomes of the committee work will be presented at the second ordinary session, where final decision will be taken by the full Parliament. And now the Auditor General for the Federation, Shaka Chira, says effective public sector auditing remains critical to strengthening Nigeria's democracy through transparency, accountability and prudent management of public resources. Speaking with journalists in Abuja as part of activities marking the 2026 Democracy Day celebration, Chira said accountability and transparency are fundamental pillars of democratic governance, noting that the Supreme Audit institutions worldwide contribute to democratic development through independent oversight of public finances. The Auditor General identified weak internal control systems, capacity gaps, delays in responding to audit observation, and the growing scale of government operations as major challenges affecting accountability and compliance across public institutions. Despite these challenges, Chair said the Office of the Auditor General for the Federation will continue to strengthen collaboration with ministries, departments and agencies to enhance accountability and safeguard public resources. He added that the office is implementing its strategic plan 2024 to 2028 to improve audit quality, institutional effectiveness and public sector accountability on the role of technology in modern auditing. He said the office had adopted digital audit tools, data analytics and modern audit methodologies to improve efficiency and detect risk more effectively. He stressed that greater transparency is essential for building trust and public confidence in government institutions. Now, the European Union, EU, has congratulated Nigeria on the occasion of Democracy Day, describing democracy as a continuous process built on participation, dialogue, accountability, and inclusive governance. In a Democracy Day message, the European Union ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Goita Mignot, said the day provides an opportunity to reflect on Nigeria's democratic journey since the end of military rule and to acknowledge the efforts of millions of citizens contributing to the nation's development. The ambassador noted that Nigeria's democracy continues to evolve through civic participation, institutional reforms, and the growing involvement of women, young people, and community groups in governance. He commended the resilience of Nigerians in strengthening democratic values despite existing challenges. Mignot highlighted the European Union's support for democratic governance in Nigeria through the EU Support to Democratic Governance in Nigeria program. He said the initiative supports electoral processes, legislative engagement, peace-building efforts, judicial collaboration, and broader citizen participation in democratic processes. The ambassador also reaffirmed the EU's commitment to promoting inclusion, supporting independent media, and strengthening access to credible public information. He also added that through its global gateway strategy, the European Union will continue to invest in partnership that enhance opportunity, participation, and long-term resilience. He wished Nigerians a happy Democracy Day and urged continued commitment to democratic ideals. Nigerians are paving way globally as Afrobeat star Burna Boy and singer Shakira had the spectators out of their seats in the opening ceremony for the 2026 World Cup in the Estadio Azteca on Thursday ahead of the opening match between co-host Mexico and South Africa Cup opening ceremony. The 48-team tournament is also being hosted by the United States and Canada and will feature 104 games culminating in the final in New Jersey on July 19th. Dancers twirled around a giant model of the World Cup trophy while fireworks went off in the historic 80,000 capacity stadium which hosted the 1970 and 1986 World Cup finals and has been renovated for this year's tournament. In highlights of the ceremony, Colombian star Shakira and Burna Boy performed Dai Dai, the official song of the tournament, bringing roars from the crowd. But that's it on Aso Briefing today. Thank you for watching. I am Joy Annie. Enjoy the Democracy Day celebration. Good afternoon.